The Chinese economy is in a deepening crisis. In northeast China, it has entered a full-blown depression, decaying openly with no attempt to hide the damage. The slogans speak of recovery and revitalization, but reality tells a harsher story. Consumption has collapsed, businesses are dying in waves, and entire cities are slipping into economic paralysis. For more than 20 years, the CCP has shouted, "Revitalize Northeast China," yet people in Liaoning, Jilin, and Heilongjiang now say it plainly. There was never a real strategy, only hollow chanting. What stands today is not slowdown, but structural collapse. Emptied streets, fleeing populations, frozen consumption, and a growing belief that the Northeast has been sacrificed, left to rot as a warning nobody dares to officially acknowledge. In cities like Shenyang, Harbin, and Changchun, scenes that once symbolized industrial strength now resemble post-collapse wastelands. Once busy commercial streets are eerily silent. Shopping malls stand half-lit with no customers. Countless storefronts are shuttered, their signs faded, their interiors gutted. Young people have fled south in waves, leaving behind elderly parents, empty apartments, and cities that feel like they are slowly being erased from history. Locals describe the region as disappearing, reverting into something hauntingly similar to the old Great Northern Wilderness. Except this time, it is not nature reclaiming the land, but economic collapse driving people away. This prolonged decline has become known as the Northeast phenomenon, a systemic crisis encompassing economic decay, demographic collapse, and social breakdown. Heavy industry failed to transform. New industries never took root. Private businesses suffocated under rigid controls and shrinking demand. A massive brain drain followed, hollowing out the workforce. Consumption collapsed, creating a vicious cycle. No spending means no jobs. No jobs mean no future. Entire neighborhoods have become ghost zones, and villages are being emptied at an alarming pace. Observers increasingly believe that what is happening in the Northeast is not an anomaly, but a warning, a preview of what may eventually unfold across the entire country. On December 31st, 2025, an overseas blogger posted a video that ignited intense discussion. The message was stark and unsettling. The Northeast has already collapsed and is leading China into a deeper recession. According to the compilation of testimonies, nearly 27 million people in the three northeastern provinces have effectively stopped consuming. With consumption gone, businesses die. With businesses gone, jobs vanish. Locals describe a chilling reality. When one person dies, one household is locked up. Children have long since moved away, and when the elderly pass on, the lights go out permanently. Entire buildings fall silent overnight. Footage from across the region shows the same pattern repeating itself. In Shenyang, residents point to downtown streets and ask a simple question: where are the people? Once proud slogans now provoke anger rather than hope. People openly curse the phrase, "revitalize the Northeast," saying every flawed policy decision is being paid for by ordinary families. In old residential areas of cities like Qiqihar, rows of apartment blocks sit almost completely empty. Homes that once cost hundreds of thousands of yuan now sell for the price of a used phone. And still, nobody wants them. Young people refuse to stay, marry, or have children because they see no future. In shopping districts, Sundays look like weekdays after a disaster. Malls are deserted. Entire floors are dark. Locals say the real economy is finished, not just in one city, but across the entire Northeast. Villages and hamlets are hollowed out, their streets lined with locked houses and overgrown yards. Rural areas are nearly deserted, while small county towns in fourth and fifth-tier cities feel abandoned. Only a handful of larger cities still retain any visible population, and even those are fading fast. Young workers describe relentless exploitation. Job seekers are trapped in unpaid trial periods, discarded after days of free labor. Others are pushed into brutal schedules with no rest, no security, and no dignity. Wages hover at survival levels. People say that in the Northeast, connections matter more than ability, and without the right background, opportunity simply does not exist. Starting a business is nearly impossible. Supply chains are broken, consumer demand is dead, and competition is suffocating. Shop owners echo the same despair. Wholesalers say there is no business. Retailers say there is no business. Clothing stores, restaurants, even hair salons say there is no one coming in. Have people stopped cutting their hair? One resident asked bitterly. In residential areas, brand new villas stand abandoned, their doors ripped off, windows shattered, interiors untouched. They were built, but never lived in, monuments to overbuilding and false growth. Demographic data confirms what the streets already show. Heilongjiang, Jilin, and Liaoning now record the lowest birth rates in China, while death and divorce rates rank among the highest. Elderly residents say funerals now outnumber births by a terrifying margin. Loudspeakers broadcast memorials day after day. Some villages have not seen a newborn in years. This is not aging, locals say. All the young people are gone. Parents openly admit they are afraid to have children. Prices keep rising. Incomes keep falling. Everything you buy is expensive. Everything you sell is cheap. Economic pressure is suffocating. Families feel trapped, exhausted, and abandoned. Generation after generation is leaving, and those who leave rarely return. The Northeast is not just declining, it is being emptied out. After 22 years of slogans, people say they have finally woken up. Revitalization never came. Promises turned into dust. What remains is silence, abandoned streets, locked homes, and a haunting question that no one in power wants to answer. If this is the fate of Northeast China, how long before the rest of the country follows?
A massive wave of deportations involving nearly 40,000 Chinese nationals has erupted into one of the most explosive controversies of 2025, shaking both Washington and Beijing. What began as scattered discussions online has now escalated into a nationwide debate about immigration, national security, and the future of Chinese students in America. Across the U.S., federal agencies have intensified inspections targeting visa violators, illegal workers, and undocumented residents. Authorities revealed that about 390,000 Chinese immigrants were living without legal status, and almost 40,000 have been issued deportation orders, a number that stunned global audiences. To push compliance, the U.S. government warned of tougher penalties and even possible asset seizures for those who attempt to evade deportation. Beijing responded sharply. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning condemned Washington's actions, and clips of her statement spread rapidly across Chinese social media. This sparked a new wave of nationalist sentiment, with online users calling for boycotts of American goods and urging support for domestic brands. The fury intensified after an article by Mike Gallagher, former head of the U.S. House Select Committee on the CCP, appeared in the Wall Street Journal on August 20, 2025. In his piece, Gallagher argued that Harvard University should remove all Chinese students, claiming that the U.S. should not devote its elite academic resources to training individuals who may one day strengthen a geopolitical rival. He also warned that American research and technology could be used to bolster Beijing's influence. Around the same time, the U.S. State Department confirmed the cancellation of over 6,000 international student visas, adding more fuel to the ongoing public debate. Gallagher's article also highlighted concerns that Harvard, especially the Kennedy School, has long attracted children of senior Chinese officials, creating what he described as channels of influence that could be exploited by Beijing. The situation escalated further after a viral incident at UCLA's graduation ceremony. A Chinese-American student named James Han publicly criticized ICE and the Trump administration's policies, triggering intense backlash. Although her remarks were legally protected speech, they provoked outrage among segments of the American public. Online comments calling for her deportation, even suggesting that Xi Jinping should come and pick her up, spread rapidly. Han defended her right to express her opinions as a U.S. citizen, but the incident amplified scrutiny toward Chinese international students at a sensitive moment. Meanwhile, statistics reveal how deeply connected China and the U.S. remain. In 2024, around 110,000 international students came to the United States, and a quarter of them were from China. In 2022, Chinese nationals earned 40% of America's science PhDs, and approximately 40% of AI specialists in the US were of Chinese descent. However, since early 2025, over 6,000 student visas have been revoked due to visa violations, legal concerns, or alleged ties to extremist groups or the Chinese Communist Party. Strange incidents have also been reported at top universities. A Chinese researcher at the University of California suddenly received notice that their legal resident status had been terminated without explanation. At Stanford University, a glitch in the digital access system caused 6 international students' ID cards to stop working, preventing them from entering campus buildings. As both nations harden their stances, this clash over visas, education, and immigration is quickly becoming one of the defining flashpoints of 2025, reshaping public opinion, stirring nationalist sentiment in both countries, and forcing the world to confront a rapidly changing chapter in China-US relations. A quiet storm is sweeping across American campuses, and for thousands of Chinese students, it's becoming a life-changing crisis. At Cornell University, a doctoral student woke up to an unexpected notification. Their F1 visa had been abruptly canceled. No warning, no clear explanation. Just a legal notice telling them they had 72 hours to leave the United States. Their family had poured over $120,000 into tuition across 3 years, yet the rules left no room for negotiation. What shocked many even more was how some political voices reacted. On August 10, 2025, activist Laura Loomer amplified a statement from China's foreign ministry and wrote bluntly online, "We should start revoking Chinese student visas to teach Beijing a lesson." She even went as far as suggesting that the US consider deporting Xi Jinping's daughter, whom many believe once studied at Harvard. These kinds of comments reflect a major shift in America's immigration landscape. A decade ago, Washington's top priority was managing illegal immigration across the southern border. But in 2025, the focus has turned sharply toward Chinese nationals, especially students and researchers suspected of having links to the Chinese Communist Party. And this trend isn't isolated. Europe, Japan, and several developed nations are simultaneously tightening oversight and limiting scientific cooperation with China in sensitive industries like semiconductors, AI, and quantum technology. Beijing has rapidly become one of the most restricted targets globally for immigration and tech transfer policies. But while overseas governments grow stricter, another wildfire is spreading across the world, a surge of frustration toward the behavior of certain Chinese tourists. For years, China was celebrated as the world's biggest spender in global tourism. Today, 2025 tells a very different story.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.